How are you?
I'm okay. I'm doing okay, you know, really.
What are you doing with your days since this verdict?
Just as busy as before the verdict, you know, meeting with my attorneys and talking to constituents, and the community has been so loving and supportive and prayerful. I mean, you saw it just then, everywhere I go. So I'm fine.
What are you doing for money?
Well, I've had to, you know, sell my beach house and use my retirement. You know, people are beginning to come around and give me resources. But the point is, you know, to me, when you're born, you get a birth certificate, and when you die, you're going to get a death certificate. And that dash in between is what you've done to make this a better world. And I feel very strongly that I don't want on my tombstone, felon. I've devoted 34 years of my life to service. And to have it twisted the way it's been twisted is very upsetting to me.
12 jurors said unanimously that you are a felon. Are they wrong?
Well, that is, I think it's been some tampering with the jury. When we looked at the one person that was thrown off, he was a retired veteran, disabled. I have real concerns with how it happened, and of course, I'm gonna let my attorney handle that. But I understand it's been a lot of, if this is what goes on in the jury room, it's unbelievable. Some of the things that's come out, the bullying, the intimidations. You know, I saw for myself that one of the persons was crying. And so I don't know why they was crying, but to me, it should be looked into. And from what I've been told, if some of the things that's been sent to me, I know that the judge would have not let that go on, because a person, my understanding, I can't, okay.
Okay.
And actually, just because that's something that still potentially deals with some issues that may be sealed, we don't want to get into any of that.
I think the judge told you yesterday that you could talk to reporters, but he would advise you against doing that, and yet you're sitting here talking with a reporter. Can you explain that?
Well, I've talked for all my life, so that's just who I am. He did, you know, I come from a different system. He is the judiciary branch, and I am the legislative branch. So the legislative branch is used to talking to the media.
Are you the slightest bit worried that what you're saying in this interview could prompt the judge to give you a stiffer sentence that you might not have otherwise have given, that he might otherwise have given?
No, I mean, I find him fair, you know. You know, I guess it's very difficult in this situation to, you know, look at and weigh all of the ins and outs, and you know, I feel violated. You know, I feel that way.
Have you asked yourself, and you and I, we go back a long time, you've been doing what you've been doing a long time, I've been doing what I've been doing a long time, so I kind of know a little bit. Have you asked yourself, could you be in denial about crimes that were committed, that maybe you did commit a crime?
No, I'm not.
Have you asked yourself the question?
Yes, I have, and I've looked at the evidence, and in my opinion, we have, as my attorney said, we have a judiciary system that, in my opinion, make it up as they go. You know, I had the functions. It was all, you know, when they talked about the computer drive, you know, I gave out 1,000 computers in this community. 1,000 in my district. 1,000, not 36, 1,000.
Was that with money that was raised from One Door for Education, or where'd that money come from?
Oh, it came from monies that was, some of it was raised from one door, but other monies, I mean, companies, it was a partnership between, let's say one of the partnerships was with Job Corps. The companies donated the computers, Job Corps worked in refurbishing them. I mean, we had different partners dependent on the community. When I did it in Orlando and we got the computers done, the school system worked and put the information on for the kids. I mean, these are things that happen. I mean, it's just like no discussion. 1,000 computers, who does that? Every year I had a job fair for 23 years. Over 10,000 people came to the job fairs. You know, it's just like I worked all of the time. I travel all over the country with foreclosures. So many people, over 1 million people was losing their homes. I worked all over the country. So I'm a workaholic. And so maybe I should have paid more attention to what was going on in my office. But you have good people and you think your people are doing what they're supposed to do. I mean, when I had my job fairs, I would do the template and try to encourage other members to do that for their constituents. So, you know, I'm proud of the work that I've done. And it's not, when you say, well, what have you done? I'm not talking about the courthouses and the bridges. I was able to get the Moffett Point Marine the gold medal. And they have been trying to do it for 50 years. And I think the nicest compliments that was ever said to me was by the head commander. He said, Corrine, you should have been a Marine. And those, you know, I know the work that I've done. So basically, I have found out more about the criminal justice system than I wanted to know. And it's for a reason. I'm going through this for a reason. People are coming to me, telling me about what's wrong with the system. And I'm finding out what's wrong. And, you know, it's just like when you have your head in the lion's mouth, you ease it out. I understand my head is in the lion's mouth right now, but people are coming to my support.
While all that was going on, the jury concluded that you cheated on your taxes. Did you cheat on your taxes?
Absolutely not. And when you look at what happened with my taxes, you know, and I don't want to get into the details of it, but clearly, if they had followed the instructions, it would have been not guilty. So I don't know whether the instructions wasn't clear or what, but, you know, that's just one aspect of, you know, all of these charges. I mean, you know, 22 charges, 350 years. You know, it's something wrong with the system.
Could we just talk about Von Alexander's testimony?
Mm-hmm. I don't know. Can I talk about it?
Ask him? No. Okay. You can't talk about Von Alexander's. Okay. Well, it's called fishing. I ask the questions, and you tell me which ones you can answer, and which ones you can't answer. I think I'm out of questions until we find out what that juror says.
Okay. Well.
If you won't let me ask you questions about the testimony or the evidence.
Well, how about this? What was the question, if you don't mind, about Von Alexander? Were you going to ask her to comment on the testimony of Von Alexander?
Yeah, can she do that?
I'd rather not get into that.
Okay.
You know, just commenting specifically there, we're maybe getting into a line, and I have to try to protect her, given that she still hasn't been sentenced yet.
I understand.
Yeah, thank you.
Is there anything else you want to say
Well,
before we get to whatever the juror said?
Well, like I said, the main point is that I had some real concerns that a veteran got thrown off, a disabled veteran. That concerns me. Here's someone that has served the country and couldn't serve on a jury.
Has your lawyer told you, and I know he's just sitting right back there behind you, but has your lawyer told you that looks like to him like sufficient grounds for a new trial?
That and other things.
That another thing?
Yes, sir. Mhm.
So you really, obviously, you're gonna ask for a new trial in the belief that you're gonna get a new trial.
Absolutely.
Okay. We all right, Mr.
Yes,
Smith?
sir. I just want to add right now, we don't have any evidence to suggest that he was thrown off because he was a disabled veteran.
Oh, no, 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 no.
Right, I want to be clear, I don't want her to give that impression. I think
Okay.
what she's saying is, she's concerned that he may have been thrown off, and regardless of the reason, if it wasn't a valid reason, it would be a shame for someone who served his country to not be on a jury. But just to be clear, we're not implying that the judge did anything or anyone did anything because he's a disabled veteran. I just want to
Right.
make that clear.
That's correct, but I am
Do you
saying
wanna say that for me? Could you say that for me?
that I'm not saying that the person got thrown off because that person was a disabled veteran, but I'm saying that person that got thrown off was a disabled veteran, and he served this country, and I thought he should have had the opportunity to serve. I stand by that. And it seems as it's a show that they off the island or something. What is why would he get thrown off the jury? I have some real problems with the information I've gotten, and I have to button up.
I think the Congresswoman wanted to say to you at some point that regardless of the result, she wanted to at least have a level of comfort that it was a fair result, a fair process. You know, democracy is not about a guaranteed result, it's about a fair process. And if some of the things that she's heard initially turn out to be true, it should raise concerns for anyone, regardless of what they think about her guilt or innocence, because everyone would agree the process should be fair. It's not about the result, it's about the process that gets you to that result.
Can you say that for me?
Mm-hmm.
Take your time.
From the information, and I haven't gotten verification, but if the information is correct, I would have a serious concern about what happened in that jury room. And that regardless of how you feel, I need to feel, and my constituents need to feel, and the people in Washington needs to feel that it was a fair process. And you know, you got to have a fair process, and I'm not comfortable with the information I've had thus far.
And so you were gonna try to find out if the process was fair.
That's correct.
Let me ask you this, if you find out the process was fair, then what?
Then I still understand that based on some of the information that, for example, you asked me about the taxes. Well, you know, facts and laws got to have a play into it. Okay, if this is the statute and this is the facts, then how do you come up with this conclusion? So, I mean, and that's for an attorney to be able to articulate, well, you know, what happened there. Because if this is the law and these are the facts, then how do you come up with that conclusion? You know, and you know, it was a show on television years ago, Badge 714. He said, "The facts, ma'am, just the facts." So I'm saying, based on the facts as I know them, then how do you come up with this conclusion?
Of course, the Justice Department had a much different set of facts as they knew them.
Yes, and I have a, you know, they kept saying, and I have a real problem with that. They kept saying, well, the charity, which is not my charity, they tried to act like it was my charity, I started it, but the charity only gave one scholarship or $1,200, then they know that's a lie. Just straight out fake prosecution. They know that these kids went to China. So why are you not saying anything about that? And the law says that, you know, you want to give X amount of scholarships, but you had so many kids went to China on a scholarship. How come that's never discussed? They pick and choose what they want to talk about. Mm-hmm.
Let's wait and hear what Lindsay tells Mr. Smith, and we'll finish our interviews. I don't know.
Okay, I still feel it was a witch hunt, and I stand by that.
I'll quote you.